Coming up in this week's episode of Punt It Long, Scotland, are we overreacting? No BT Sport TV deal for Scottish football. Social media comes into play in this week's Bellend, and the usual chat about Dunfermline Athletic Football Club. Enjoy. I could honestly talk for a full video about this, but we'll try to keep it short for this one, just because it is Punt It Long and obviously can't talk too long about one subject. But it needs to be talked about this because there's been a lot of kind of talk around Scotland and the kind of national team as a whole in the last 6 months to the last 20 years really, because we haven't reached any tournaments, and perhaps this is now the best chance for us to at least look likely to be involved in the chat of getting to the next Euros at least. First off, James Forrest. What a player he is now. He's scoring goals for fun, and he pretty much has single-handedly in those 2 games just there gotten us promoted out of the Nations League and put us in a really good position going into the playoffs in 2020, I believe they are, and also the rest of the Nations League, because obviously we're now promoted into Group B from Group C. His running style's always been quite funny to me. He kind of runs a bit like an aeroplane. Obviously he scored his first 5 goals as a Scotland player now, and he's just playing fantastic. I was watching the game last night against Israel, and when he got the ball, the first goal, you weren't exactly expecting him to score it, but after he got the first goal, when the ball came to him for the second one, I was pretty much expecting him to put it away. He's almost like that kind of reliable player now, and if he can keep that kind of form up that he showed for Celtic over the last 2 seasons or so, if he can bring that into the national team and continue that on in the wee spurts of national team games that we get, then we're in good stead, because we'll have a brilliant player in our hands and perhaps one of the better wingers that we've had in the last decade or so. On to the bigger talking point now. I've had a bit to say about Alex McLeish ever since he was appointed. I've called him a bit of a dinosaur. I've said that, you know, it's not exactly the right appointment for the positivity of the Scottish game, because no one was really getting behind him, including myself, before these run of games, and especially after the Israel result. Even though we'd won against Albania in the first game, against Israel we looked really poor away from home, and then of course we went and won 4-0 in Albania on Saturday, and then came back to Hampden, and although it was a nervy game in the end, we did end up playing some really good football against Israel at Hampden, and we've looked really good recently. And as I said, it's mainly down to the single brilliance of James Forrest, but Alex McLeish has got them playing decent enough football, and with the kind of call-offs he's actually kind of been a bit, not lucky, but it's been kind of handed to him, this sort of situation where he's now had to play the more vibrant and young players instead of sticking to the kind of old guns who have always kind of kept their place in the Scottish team. So now he's got the players who are banging form right now, players like Ryan Christie, James Forrest. So obviously McLeish has kind of sort of been handed this situation on a wee silver platter for him, but he's done really well in terms of getting the players to buy into the sort of system he was looking to play. He's obviously tried a few different systems as Scotland manager already. Some of them have worked, some of them obviously haven't, especially the one against Israel, but he's got us promoted into the Nations League, and obviously I did kind of say that James Forrest has single-handedly done it, but some credit has to go to Alex McLeish because he has picked the team. He does have other options on the bench and stuff, so he could have picked different players. He's picked this team, and it's playing really well for him at the moment, and hopefully we can now carry that on into the further Nations League that we go in, and obviously Group B now that we're promoted into, and then the playoffs in 2020. Who knows if it'll be a completely different set of players depending on situations at that point, because obviously we'll have players back for injury. Players might actually want to pick up the jersey and play for Scotland for a change, and hopefully these current crop of players that we're playing in the last few games are still on the same level of form come that time, because if they're not, then do they get in the next round of games, because it is about 5 months away until the next international break, and a lot of things could change before then. But anyway, as I said, we've got promoted, and now we're in the Nations League playoffs, and we're now promoted into a higher group than we ever were before. So, am I Alex McLeish in? Well, I'll be there supporting the team when the next round of fixtures comes around, and I won't exactly be calling for his head, so am I Alex McLeish in? Aye, why no? Stick my neck out on the line for the guy. Someone call a taxi for BT Sport. They're leaving the party. BT Sport, from me to you, I'm very disappointed. I honestly thought that they would have stumped up a bit of money, at least more than they did bid, because they actually bid lower than the current deal that we have in terms of a TV deal, but they've kind of let me down with this. I really thought that their enthusiasm and love for the game that came across very well with the presenters. Of course, it's not the presenters themselves that put these deals across, it's the company BT Sport themselves, and they obviously didn't feel the same passion and drive that their own presenters did for the Scottish game. They've kind of dealt us a bad hand in terms of what they were going to put into the Scottish game, and Sky Sports have obviously came up trumps with the money. And whilst it maybe doesn't look great for the Scottish game in total, especially considering how Sky Sports cover our game in general, they've come up with the money and they're looking to invest in us in the future, along with TV companies like BBC Scotland, BBC Alba, and even Premier Sports are getting in on it now. So there's far more TV subscriptions for people to be putting their hands into now, and I wouldn't be surprised if it kind of hits the fan at least until it all begins, and then people will obviously be watching the games as they normally would. But with Sky Sports now getting involved as the major kind of shareholder in terms of the TV deal, a lot of it will be based around the two big teams, and that was obviously what I've kind of been pointing out with them, and that's the biggest downfall to them, that they continuously go on about the two big sides and forget about the other 10 teams in the Premiership, far less the other 30 teams that are included in the SPFL professional leagues. So I'm not really up on the Sky Sports deal as a whole, but it's what we're going to have to deal with now because it's what's been agreed. The SPFL have obviously fully agreed that, and they came out with a statement the other day, and with that statement we say a collective rest in peace and GBNF to BT Sport, the one love that brought us kind of back into the love of Scottish football, watching it on the telly, and now from 2020 onwards they'll be gone from the TV screens, or at least they'll be gone for the vast majority of it, and it'll be nothing like it is right now. Hopefully, I mean, it's clutching at straws here, but maybe Sky Sports can get some of these pundits that were on BT Sport over into presenting some of the games there, because that would no doubt put a lot of positivity into the coverage over there. It's so mundane with players like Chris Commons and Chris Boyden and the presenter of Hayley McQueen and people like John Collins even. It's just no ideal. You've got Charlie Nicholas being the main representative on Sky Sports News for Scottish football, and nothing against Charlie Nicholas as a player. I've heard fantastic things about him as a player, but he's hardly the best representative for the Scottish game in terms of just credibility and stuff. So it's a bit of disappointment that BT Sport have kind of let us down on this front, but it's what we're going to have to deal with now. We're just going to enjoy the next 18 months of BT Sport and then take it from there and see how Sky Sports can kind of try to revamp their coverage of our game, because as I said in my video last week in Topic of Your Choice when I spoke about this matter, if you're going to pump that much money into it, then you really need to show some enthusiasm and drive for the game, similar to what BT Sport have done in recent years. And if they look at any coverage that BT Sport did over the last few seasons, then they'll find that out, and they'll find out why they were so popular in the Scottish football game. Here's hoping that Sky Sports can at least pull it out the bag a bit and not just focus on the big main two. They didn't exactly help themselves with their kind of announcement tweet that they're now coming into the Scottish game. It's horrendous. I mean, would you just look at that? The two big boys featured on the poster, Steven Gerrard and Brendan Rodgers, the managers of both Rangers and Celtic, with the two badges there, completely forgetting about every single other Scottish team that's involved within Scottish football. Cheers Sky, good way to start it off. It's that time of the week again where we do the part of the episode called You Bellend. It's a wee short one this week, but here we go. Marwan Fellaini on Twitter. Now, just before we start, obviously, in my wee introduction bit I did say that social media would be coming into it, and it is. It's the representative that does Marwan Fellaini's social media, so it's not him himself. Perhaps his haircut is a bit questionable, which is what the tweet's all about that I'm going to show you in a minute. But the main person that I'm covering on this week's You Bellend is actually the representative that will be doing Marwan Fellaini's social media, because whilst you would think that players would have time to just simply put a tweet up on social media, a lot of these big guns tend to have someone doing the dirty work for them. So maybe Marwan Fellaini will take heed a bit and maybe do his own tweets, considering how poor this one looks on him. Because it really just is common knowledge. Basically, the social media representative for Marwan Fellaini posted last Wednesday. Now I could have included it in last week's Punt It Long, but I was semi-struggling this week for representatives on Bellend, so they're here now. But basically, Marouane Fellaini's social media representative posted on Twitter saying, "New year, new look, hashtag birthday tomorrow." Well, is it your birthday tomorrow, Marouane? On the face of it, there's nothing wrong with the tweet, and you would think, well, maybe his birthday is tomorrow. This tweet was posted on the 14th of November, the same birthday as mine, so that makes his birthday the 15th of November, right? If you actually do a bit of research into it though, Marouane Fellaini's birthday is on the 22nd of November on not one site, not two sites, and not three sites, but four if you include the reputable source of Wikipedia, which I'm not going to do. His birthday is actually the 22nd of November, and the social media post makes absolutely no sense. No one really picked up on it in the replies to the tweet, but it's completely wrong, and perhaps the social media representative of Marouane Fellaini got a bit of a talking to, and deserves it rightfully so, because you're the social media representative for this guy. You should know his basic info. Shocking performance. And as usual here on Punt It Long, we'll go full circle and back to my team Dunfermline. It's Ross County away this weekend. I'll not make it there. I'm going to be in Blackpool on a long weekend holiday with a new fiance. I hope everyone enjoys it that ends up going up there. It'll be a fantastic away day, and hopefully I can make it to the next away game for Ross County, as long as the Ironbury Cup doesn't get in the way again. But you know how I said I'm going down south instead of going to Ross County? Well, trust me, I'll make sure I'm heading there, Blackpool, instead of going all the way up here, Ross County. Because I know my maps better than Callum Morris. Still try and make that joke relevant. And that's it for this episode of Punt It Long, guys. Cheers for watching. If you did enjoy, please give it a like. Comment down below anything you think about what I've said. But aye, subscribe for more of this type of content. But for now, I'll see you in the next video, which will be Pars Roundup. But until then, I'll see you then. Cheers, guys.